Hello there, my lovely darklings and metal mystics. It's your glamour goal guide to ascension and alchemy back with another video. And today I want to talk about how food is frequency. So even though you can never be separate from source because you are a fractal of source, what if I told you that every bite you take either aligns you more with that source, aligns you more with that energy, or disconnects you from it, even though once again, you're always a part of it. Food isn't just fuel, it's frequency. And when you treat your body like the temple of the I am, your entire reality shifts. Let's get right into it, shall we? So I can bet and double down on the fact that we both have been taught that food is just calories and macros and just something you fill your belly with because you're hungry. Absolutely not. Food is truly a vibration. We always hear we are what we eat, and that sounds like cheesy cliche nonsense to have your parents force you to eat broccoli or something bland like that. Bland. What makes broccoli bland other than the fact that a double cheeseburger and fries is very palatable? We've been taught that food is just whatever. We can just get it through a drive-through. We can just pick it up at a local market, that it should be under $3, and that it doesn't really matter what we put into our bodies. You know, a lot of the time we talk about natural products. We talk about, oh, I want my makeup to be natural. I want to make sure that my lotion is natural. I want to make sure that my hair care or my clothes or other types of things like that. If we want our external products to be natural and of the earth, and everything's of the earth really, but if we want it to be something that sustains, something that maintains, something that promotes health and true wellness, why don't we want that for our internal? Why don't we want our internal body temple to receive that same care, that same tender loving care that we would give to our clothes, give to external forces? You know that our body is not even just a well-oiled machine. It's not really a machine. It does way more than that. It's literally ancient and future technology all in one. But if we want our bodies to be well-oiled machines to enjoy our lives fully, we have to make sure that we are eating foods that are in alignment with what our body uses as actual fuel, not just something we put in our bellies because we feel the hunger pangs. Every plant, every fruit, every herb, all the hydrating, nutrient-dense foods that our body constantly craves from us in this day and age, because we've gotten so far from our nature, we don't even know what real food means anymore. It is true vibration. It really is who we are. What we eat truly is who we are. Not only the fact that we are literally all one, even the plant foods, the foods from the earth that we eat, it is the fact that it carries a certain vibration. If it's hydrated, if it's nutrient dense, mineral dense, was raised well, was treated properly, is as close to its natural born or natural grown state as possible, that has a very high frequency that translates and is imprinted within our DNA. It informs our cells. It allows us to expand our light body, our prana, our life force just expands and allows us to create an energy field that is not only highly electric, that we can call things out, but highly magnetic, that our desires, what we want to see and what we want to call into this life is magnetized towards us. Even if it's something that doesn't look good in the moment, it is going to teach us some sort of lesson so we can get the experience to call ourselves higher, to get to a higher state of consciousness. And we have to remember, once again, as I said, our body is a temple. It is not just a robot. It is not just a sack of meat. It's not just an animated zombie. Our bodies are precious. Think about how amazing it is. Without us even asking it to, without us even thinking about it, without us even being consciously aware of it, our heart beats. Our food digests, our legs walk, you know, we have different abilities, but our ears hear, our eyes see, our brains think and sense. We don't have to ask our bodies to do that for us. It does it for us already. How amazing and precious is that? Why wouldn't we want to invite different foods, invite different nutrients, invite different higher vibrations into our body of obviously of other varieties in order to promote that type of health, wellness, and autonomous synchrony that it provides for us every day. The breaths we take, why wouldn't we want to nourish it, nourish every cell, every atom, every wavelength in our body in order for us to not only feel better, but to just be better? Because food not only affects our body and can either create disease or heal from disease. It is not just putting something into our bodies, it is also affecting our state of consciousness. We all know that certain foods like fast foods, highly processed foods, GMO foods, foods that are sprayed with all types of things with 17-letter words, they affect how we feel. Of course, there's a myriad of factors on this lovely earth that could affect how we feel in a lot of ways. Obviously, when we're closer to our being, that gets less and less. But we know that when we eat a 20-piece nugget with a large fry, a liter cola, and an apple pie on the side, we know that we feel foggy, we feel bogged down, we don't feel like ourselves. We don't feel optimal, we don't feel energetic, we don't feel vital, we don't feel vibrant. And that's going to affect our state of consciousness. That's going to affect how we perceive the world. That's going to affect how we perceive ourselves. That's going to affect how we interact with the world and interact with ourselves. And why would we want to give ourselves the lowest common denominator of experience when we have every minute, second, and present moment to feel good? We have every opportunity of the present moment to feel good, to do what we can to give our body, mind, spirit, and other things the experiences it needs, the items it needs, the fuel, the nourishment, the care it needs in order for us to be peaceful, be in love with life, be in love with ourselves, operate from our I am presence. And speaking of presence, you know you cannot be present when you eat that type of stuff. And I'm not even saying this from a place of judgment or shame. I've been there. I've eaten the 20-piece nugget. I've had the whole large pizza to myself. I've had a double cheeseburger, fries, and all that, a 4-piece combo, all that type of stuff with a large drink and a brownie sundae to myself. And I'm not a big and tall person. So that was my past. That is far in past timelines that are existing right now. However, I choose in this lifetime to eat as optimal, healthy, well, and health promoting as possible. And we don't want to fall into the trap of unconscious consumption. We know that there are ads out there attacking us and bombarding us with palatable food. We know it tastes good. That was my problem as somebody who had a past food addiction. The food tastes good, it looks good in the ad, and I want it now. There was one time that a certain fast food restaurant, they advertised a certain type of food that they were coming out with that was really new. This was like decades ago at this point. And it looked so tasty, I wanted to get it right then and there. I didn't want to wait 1 second. This was before YouTube. And that I did. And you know what? It tasted like every other item it had. There was no joy. There was the joy of the chemicals that I got. My hormones, all the feel-good hormones were excited because that was my drug of choice at the time. But I realized that this tastes like every other thing that this fast food restaurant offered. This was no different. I'm eating the same thing over and over again. No variety of color, no variety of flavor, no nutrients, just flavored wax. I don't want to fall into the trap of unconscious consumption like I did in the past. And sometimes we just buy things just to buy it, just because it's in front of our face and we know that from the past, from our experiences, it may taste good or it may feel good. But that is a very temporary, fleeting feeling of pleasure. That's not even real pleasure. The real pleasure we get is deriving from our being, deriving from our true I am nature, our essence, our divinity. It is not from the food that really is drugs these days, or the TV show, or the actual drugs, or the sex, or the person, or the drama. It isn't that. We want the feeling behind it. And the feeling behind that pleasure is, once again, short-lived. But the most permanent feeling that you can have, if you can even say permanent, since we are finite in our humanness, is knowing that we have nourished our body so it can do everything it's supposed to do with our superhuman strength, because we have so many abilities that we're not taught about. We're able to tap into that true innate magic that we have as human beings, but we just feel good. That is a real long-lasting feeling of pleasure. Yes, some of those foods might not taste the best. The hydrating plant foods, whatever you eat, I'm not here to tell you what to eat. But whatever that hydrating, nutrient-dense, mineral-dense food is, it may not always taste the best, but it is going to be the best for us. And we know that. So we have to transcend the pangs of taste. We have to transcend the fear of something not tasting good. We have to remember that it doesn't taste good. The real hydrating, nutritious food doesn't taste good because we've been so used to hyper palatable food that's not even real food. So definitely keep that in mind. Be present, mindful, and aware that some of the foods that we resist that's actually good for us, we only are in resistance because we're used to food that artificially tastes good. That's not real, this is. It may not taste the best now, but it will taste amazing and your body will always thank you for it. Your divinity, your essence will thank you for it. And what better way to feel one, to be in unity consciousness, to truly see the formless in all the form, to feel the stillness in the movement, to hear the silence behind all the noise, to feel the love behind all the separation, the pain, than to eat well, to do well for your body, to move, to breathe. I couldn't even think about meditation when I was eating a certain type of way, when I was eating all the flavored wax, let's just call it that. No shame or judgment, let's just call it what it is. We all know that it's that. I wasn't able to meditate. I wasn't able to want to move, to be motivated to do better, and to have a lifestyle that's cultivating true holistic wellness without moving and shifting my awareness to wanting to eat healthier. And that's where it all started for me. But if you don't have your health, then what do you really have? We can't be portals of the divine. We can't be channeling our divinity. We can't be one with ourselves when we're fighting against doing something that's going to make us truly well, in the physical realm rather. And that brings me to my next point of eating for clarity, eating for awareness, eating for high frequency, eating for joy, peace, true unconditional love for yourself and the outside world, than eating for comfort. And I am right there with you, my love. I used to eat for comfort all the time. It was a huge issue for me where I would just eat. I had a true seafood diet. I would eat what I see. I didn't even care what was in it. I didn't read the ingredients. I didn't care about the nutritional facts. I didn't care about how much salt, sugar, the fake products, all the additives and the flavorings and the red dye 40, all that type of stuff. I didn't care about what was in it. And that was completely understandable and made sense for how I was raised and where I come from. But now that I know, I have to do better. And eating for comfort is not where it's at, because we know that's not even comfortable. We're talking about eating for comfort. Comfort where? Because it makes us feel bogged down, it makes us feel low, it makes us feel dense. And the more dense we feel, the less light we become. And not even just light from our light body, from shining bright as the light beings, the pure light that we really are, the pure spheres of light that we really are. It is knowing that we're eating lighter, as in we're not digesting all day, avoiding the heavily processed food, the GMO foods, the dead foods, all those types of flavored wax. Our body has to digest for like 3 to 11 hours in order for it to pass and to be metabolized. And when you're eating lighter, when you're eating more hydrating foods, foods that our bodies can recognize, food that is grown from the earth, food that is blessed, food that is nurtured, food that has been taken care of with love, your body's not going to be digesting all day for it. And having all that energy, because our bodies digest, our digestive system digests our food. Think about how many calories you're eating in a meal with that heavy food. That means that takes a lot of energy for your body to focus on that. Your body needs that energy for other things. That's why a lot of us get the itis. We don't think about that. We just think it's because we eating healthy. Oh, we just ate a large meal. Nothing weird here. Yeah, our food shouldn't make us feel that way. That means it's taking all its energy to focus on digesting that heavy, dense, dead food. Our body needs that energy for other things, for being, for thinking, for moving, for interacting, for experiencing, for enjoying. Our bodies can't enjoy anything when it spends 80% of the day digesting heavy food that it can't even recognize, that it doesn't want in it. And sometimes we're going to be eating things that we don't really prefer, but it may be out of our comfort zone, not only when it comes to nutritious food, but when we're in a state of already eating nutritiously and well, we may eat something that may have a few additives in it, or may not be organic, or may whatever. Sometimes we're just gonna have to bless our foods and ask for it to be restored to its original divine blueprint, to its original nutritious state, to its original whole form, so we can receive all the nutrition and the love and the peace and the light that it was naturally supposed to be providing for us if it was in its whole state. That happens to me a lot. The way I eat, which a lot of people will think it's complicated, but it makes sense for me and it feels amazing because I am not only just eating what Mother Nature provides, but I'm hydrated, I'm getting my nutrients in, I'm getting all my macros and micros in, and it just feels great. I'm able to focus on living my actual life and being in peace, joy, and love. But when you bless your food, you're not only just giving thanks to the divine, the creator's source energy, for providing this meal for you, this beautiful meal for you, because it's not guaranteed. You're also asking the food, talking to the food, giving it its love so you can receive that light in return. So it's like you're putting your own Reiki, your own positive energy into it so you can ask it to nourish you in its highest degree. And also ancient shamans, priestesses, and mystics would eat in sacred rhythm of having this nutritious food from Mother Earth that would allow them to be seers, that allow them to be in focus of being in their I am presence, being activating and expanding their light body. And if they can do it, we can do it to the best of our ability, of course. And when you eat nutritious, hydrating, light, organic, as possible, nutrient-dense, health-promoting foods, you are no longer anchored to the illusion that you're experiencing here on Earth. Because once again, those heavy foods that we used to eat in the past, because I speak that we're eating healthier now, would promote our anxiety, promote our depression, promote illness. It did not promote wellness, it promoted illness. And if we're in that state of being, we cannot be present, we can't be mindful, we can't be aware. We're not going to be using our consciousness to the highest form that we can. So I encourage you, lovelies, to eat as best as you can, eat as nutrient dense as you can, eat as organic as you can, eat as hydrating as you can, eat as many plants as you can, eat as close to Mother Earth as you can. Because we want our food to not only fuel our bodies, but our high frequencies. We want our food to encourage our awakening, our alignment, our authenticity, our ascension, so that we can be all we're meant to be in this lifetime. And also, food can also help you with shadow work. You know I'm all about shadow work. The less resistance you have in the body from eating poison, essentially, is going to allow emotional clarity. It's going to allow certain emotions to move through your body without you offering it a lot of shame or judgment. You're just gonna let it flow, because you're going to realize it for what it is. The food is going to encourage a certain vibration that allows you to see it without a lot of internal chatter or noise, so that you can release it, transmute it, whatever you feel called to do with it. So yes, make sure that you are skipping the bucket of jumbo wings with a side of crinkly fries, a large Sprite, and a large chocolate chip cookie. I know it sounds delicious, but it is definitely not nutritious. Once again, not judging you, I've done it before myself. And your body is not separate from Source. It's how Source expresses itself through you. So what if food can become a spiritual practice, a metaphysical practice, a ritual for you to be in touch with your divinity, be in touch with the divine, just be at one, be in unity consciousness? That would be amazing, wouldn't it? So I invite you, let me know in the comments what food habits you would like to shift, or if you already have great food habits or eating habits or lifestyle habits when it comes to your intake, your movement, your breath, anything in the physical realm, I would love to hear about it. And I'm definitely going to be talking more about this subject, so any more suggestions or questions you have about it, please let me know as well. So now we've reached the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Much love, and until next time, my lovely darklings and metal mystics. Bye-bye.